Okay, everyone. Today I want to talk about a little bit about the role the mind plays in our spiritual awakening journey. So, as we talked about before in the other video, we talked about who is awakening. Um, we have the two yous inside of you that are vying for control. We have the mind-ego complex, and we have your spiritual self or consciousness, and there's a relationship between the two. And it is the consciousness that we want to awaken in you, not the mind. So, to give you an example of the role the mind plays in spiritual awakening, it's very important. It's very interesting, this relationship. No doubt that what got you onto this journey was a life-altering or life-challenging event. You lost your job, running out of money, death in the family, divorce, or a health crisis, some big scare that was unusual, okay? And it caused your mind to go crazy. You have a life event, and suddenly you can't stop thinking about, why did this happen? How do I fix it? Whose fault is it? Why me? Why, how, and how can I fix it, right? The mind goes absolutely crazy. And this is a good thing, okay? The mind is our enemy, but it's also, I hate to say enemy, but it's also our friend. Because when the mind gets to that point where it's just losing control, and by the way, when this life-altering event comes along, it has no structure for how to deal with it. So it also feels like it's about to die. In your world, you're just like spinning. You don't know what to do. The ego is out of control. The mind is out of the control. And it's like, it like short circuits. And all that firing kind of stops. And that is the moment when the consciousness inside of you, your soul, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, can take that space of quiet mind and tickle you or nudge you and say, look over here, okay? This is the interplay of the mind and your spiritual self. As you can see from that example, the mind has to short itself out to create a moment of silence so that your true self can speak to you and point you in a new direction. So, congratulations. What a wonderful thing. You listened to your inner self. Okay? So, now that you've begun on this new journey, the mind, you have to do a couple of things with the mind. It will be your new best friend, but it can also be an enemy. So let's talk about this. So the goal, I guess, of the spiritual journey is the dissolution of the ego and all of its identities. Okay, the ego mind and all of its identities. Now, you and I know that this world, everyone on this planet has very disempowered egos. We've been disempowered our whole lives. We've never really had free will. We've been told how to act, what to think, what to study. Society tells us it's all been very disempowering to the ego. And this ego is like a cornered, injured animal. All you've been doing your whole life, me as well, has been trying to survive, trying to fend off fear and attack and all this sort of stuff. And it's a hurt child and it's a caged animal. So we want to dissolve all this. But if you were to immediately try to dissolve all the behaviors and actions of this very disempowered ego animal, it would fight you the whole way. So in the beginning of your journey, it is mostly a mind journey because, first of all, you've had this like spiritual opening. Your soul has spoken to you and it's pointed you in a new direction. But what it has also done is it's created an opening in your mind. It kind of shattered some structures of reality, and it like gave the mind, oh, there's a new way of thinking. There's a new way I can behave. I can create new structures. So in the beginning of the journey, the ego mind, which is ego, energy going out, is going to seek and seek and seek and devour as much information as it can. This is a good thing and a bad thing. Go and do it. This is brilliant. Okay, gather all the information. It's so much fun because you want to empower yourself, this ego self, a little bit to get it out of this cornered corner that it's in, so it can relax a little, not be so reactive and scared, open up the doors of the mind and kind of give it some space to feel empowered. Go ahead, create your reality, manifest your dreams, etc., etc., because it's much easier to begin to dissolve the programs when you're not facing a cornered, injured animal. It's much easier to dissolve a healthy ego, okay? So in that respects, the mind plays an important role. You got to appease it a little bit, give it information, etc., etc. Need to empower it a little bit so it can let go a little bit easier, or have an understanding that it needs to transform. But the warning is, don't make your journey all about the seeking outwards, okay? Go and watch every video on YouTube. It's great. I'm losing my light again. The clouds are coming in. While you're seeking outwards, while you're checking everything out, remember to check in at the same time. So it's like the two U's. You're going to ego mind, let it go and get empowered, all kinds of information, but be careful. This happens to happened to me, it happens to everyone. But don't let the mind ego now put on a new coat, a new pretty dress or suit, and say, oh, now I'm on the spiritual journey, and I have a new identity as the spiritual person, or the starseed, or blah, blah, blah. I've just created a whole new set of structures that actually make me superior to other people. And now you become an arrogant, spiritual, do-gooder identification ego complex, which is actually even worse than the disempowered, fearful, reactive ego complex. So that's my word of warning. The ego can be your friend and it can be your foe on this journey. So check out all the things out there. Appease the mind, because the mind also, with this new reality, it's going to begin asking, ooh, well, why is this happening? I got to understand, how can I make this work? Why? Go ahead, answer all those questions to alleviate all that whyness and how comeness and I don't understand this. But remember to also, on this journey, start a meditation practice, start a contemplation, get silent, turn off everything, get quiet, and turn within so that you begin the real spiritual journey inside. Close your eyes. You're kind of doing it incognito. The mind is out there, but you're in here trying to get in touch and wake up the consciousness inside of you. And as long as this journey is balanced, you watch. One of these days, this one's going to wake up, and the mind, while it won't be happy, it will more easily begin to work with you. It will be a spoiled, rotten child. It will not want to give up control, but it will be much easier than the arrogant spiritual identity one that thought it was better than anyone else, or the hurt, angry child. Okay? So while you're checking out, check in at the same time. Both of those journeys are important. Okay, that's enough for now. Thank you very much. Bye.